Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Kirkendoll's Messy Life, and we are starting off today a little bit different. We are in a closet, and this is my huge mirror behind me, and I don't know if, I know I'm not showing a lot of it, but this used to be where I used to live with my grandfather and my mother. Now it's my mother's house, and I do come down here sometimes to film, not just in the closet and where I used to live. And the closet here is symbolic because I used to have a lot of breakdowns in this closet when I was scared with my multiple sclerosis, MS, and going through a lot of emotions and stuff with it. And what I wanted to get at today is disability. I wanted to talk about it because I know I'm not the only one. I see people talk about it, and I wanted to give you my story and the fact that it's still going on. And I found it fitting to film in this closet because, you know what, it's hard. And I was diagnosed 2014. It wasn't till I believe like 4 to 6 months later that I officially tried to apply for disability. And I went with a firm that's all they did was disabilities. So I was denied right off the bat. So then I had to wait for a hearing. And let me tell you, the paperwork and the amount of things you have to fill out, they wanted to know everything. And it was so humiliating. They wanted to know my grooming habits. They wanted to know almost like what color like my pee was, stool habits, and just everything. If I worked part-time, why did I get fired? Or if I had to quit because I had to go into the hospital or was at the emergency room, you know, they get all these documents, which is great because you do have medical release. But, you know, for me at least, it's hard opening up to a stranger, and the stranger at the firm is different. Not all the time, but most of the time they were different people. And and I'm sitting there saying all these things of what I am insignificant about or what is wrong with me. I have problems going to the bathroom. I am on pain management. I take all these different medicines and they change. Oh yeah, I was in the ER the other night because I was in so much pain, or my whole body just spazzed out, or I fell down and I couldn't get back up and they had to do MRIs and CT scans. It looked like I had a stroke. The list goes on, people. The list goes on. There's no need to keep listing because it goes on, and it goes on. I didn't get a hearing till 2 years after I was denied for my application. My hearing, I just sat in a little room at the Social Security office with my lawyer, who I just met maybe 30 minutes before I had to go in there. Didn't say a word through my entire hearing. And I regret not saying anything. I was just quiet and just said, yes, this is my symptoms. I have symptoms to this, or all the paperwork is there. And I had tons of paperwork from tons of different doctors and symptoms. Tons. And then you have the other person that's going to say, well, you could work here. You could work at fast food. You could work this and this. And it's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with working fast food. That was the basis of what their job said I could do. I could work fast food. And as we know, in the United States, anyone who works full-time at a fast food joint cannot pay for an apartment themselves. And that's sad. That is sad. It is a known fact. So why would you sit there and say all that if you know you can't get by? So I had to wait 6 months. 6 months, people. I almost think it was like 6 or over 6 months to get a letter, a big envelope. I was denied. I was thinking, oh my gosh, okay. Well, they're like, well, we can appeal it. And I'm like, all right, well, how long is this going to take? Like, my patience and all this stuff was running out. I worked part-time jobs and it didn't work out. I would get sick, or it was a push-pull situation where I would get sick from other people, or my body would get sick, and it just never worked. It never worked. I was fatigued. I was tired. I wasn't sleeping. I was scared. I was worried. I was stressed out all the time. And we appealed it, and it got denied. And I just said, okay. I threw it up. I'm like, okay. All right. It's not meant to be right now. You know, who wants disability? Most people do not. I did not want disability. A part of me was like, you know, if I got it, it would have been great. And if I got it, I would have bawled, because guess what? I want disability now. It's a double-edged sword. And that's what I mean, this closet. I would come here and these lights that are on right now for filming would not be on. I would huddle up against this wall with my blanket and just bawl. I had no control, and I am kind of, and I'm not even going to say kind of, because I'm a control freak. I like control. I like control. That stems from a child losing their dad and not having control over a lot of things that happened. But this, I had no control. I had no control over my body. I had no idea what was coming next, and I got denied. Part of me was happy I wasn't on disability, but what was I going to do next? So I went to work part-time and was still sick, and it didn't work out. But, you know, I went back to school. I always made good grades, and I loved learning. So I went back to school part-time. And I mean, I think I took 1 or 2 classes. I did not take at first, I did not take a lot of classes because I didn't know what my body could handle. And people with MS, as you know, you go kind of through seasons where you can go for a while without anything. And I went back to school and I tried that whole route. Didn't work out either. But here I am now, 2019, applying for disability again, because it took 4 years. I was lucky. I want to say that, because I was and am very lucky. I did not have a flare-up for 4 years. After I was first diagnosed, I had problems, yes, and all this, but I did not have a huge flare-up or anything like that for 4 years. But again, jobs, it doesn't stick. It's some employers don't want someone who's there or sick, that sort of thing. It just did not work out, and I couldn't accomplish anything, and I hated that. I hated that because I always actually liked working in something I was passionate about, and even school, it's something I chose that I wanted to do. I was passionate about learning, and working, it was fail after fail after fail. And the reason I'm applying now for disability is because I don't know where to turn. I have no insurance. I cannot afford insurance. I need insurance to go to my specialist. Just today, I had somebody, my doctor's nurse, my MS specialist, say, hey, we need to get you in for an MRI. And it's like, okay. I was already planning on paying to go see my specialist, but now I need to go pay for my MRI, and it's either going on some type of credit card, asking boyfriend or my mother, because it's like, where do you get money? How does this whole thing work? I don't understand it. I would love to do this for a living and make money. That would be a great goal, or to actually visit real people. But where, I don't have insurance. How do you go to the doctor? Our system is so messed up here in the United States. I don't want to get into that because that would be so long. And that's just an own personal opinion. But I don't have insurance. I need insurance. I can't hold down a job where I am not sick or they won't accept a doctor's note. And even though the rules say, hey, you have to do this, it's, legally they have to. Well, yeah, legally they have to, but do they? Do they? So, and I don't want to, work just to go to sleep. And how do you maintain a apartment or a house or wherever you're living? How do you maintain a clean, keep up with everything? It's just, it's a struggle. It is a struggle, people, and I find it so hard. And this disability thing that I'm applying for, I just want to crawl in a hole and just put a rock over me because I feel so humiliated. I don't want to go through it again. I don't like the waiting period, all the questions. And they get so personal, and it's just, sometimes I can't remember it all. The reason I couldn't refile last time with the old law firm is because, you have no new information to add. Well, I said, no, I don't have insurance. That's kind of my point. Oh, well, then we can't file since you don't have insurance. And I was like, that's what I'm trying to do. It's just, come on. I am an American citizen. Our system is failing. And you're telling me you cannot help me? This is your job, to help people. People get disability for all kinds of reasons. And I am trying to get disability for I can have insurance for one, pay some bills and live like a normal human being. And I don't know, I would like a part-time job, but in reality, I could probably only work once or twice a week. That's not going to put a roof over my head. It's not that I want to be no help to society. It's just that 2 days a week is not going to put a roof over my head. And, gosh forbid, those 2 days a week, I have a flare-up or really sick and in the hospital. What then? I'm 29 years old. This is Kirkendoll's Messy Life. Please subscribe to this channel. And if you have applied for disability, I would love to hear your story. Or I am always open to listen to someone else's story because I have little to no knowledge about it. And I'm willing to learn. So thank you for hearing me out. And I will see you next time. Please subscribe.